name is Paul Stalman. I first heard about humanism less than 10 years ago. It struck a chord with me immediately, and I joined my local AHA chapter. While I found this satisfying at first, over time, I found I had deeper questions about the nature, history, and future of humanism. So I decided to enroll in the Humanist Institute. The Humanist Institute has expanded my horizons. For example, I thought I knew everything I needed to know about science. At times, I've been called Mr. Spock. The Leonard Nimoy version, not the new hot one. But I learned that I had barely scratched the surface of how we think we know what we think we know. I started the program intent on satisfying my personal thirst for understanding. But these last 3 years, working with my wonderful, amazing classmates and mentors in Class 18, have opened my eyes to the urgent need for leadership in community building and have heightened my awareness of the injustice and oppression in our global village, which our humanist values call us to challenge.
I am Steve. I've been called Rhode Island's leading atheist, but more importantly, I am a humanist. I am a writer, artist, and radical activist searching for a way to help others to maximize their potential and happiness. I joined the Humanist Institute. Over the last 3 years, I have discovered that modern humanism, despite its commitments to reason and compassion, has too little to say about class, privilege, and economic justice. Humanism cannot be about nothing but mere atheism or simple secularism. My heart demands more.
I am Han Hills, and I was a small local organizer down in the Carolinas with very little background in humanism. I knew I wanted to know more and have a chance to learn from and alongside the best minds I could. A friend showed me the doorway into the Humanist Institute, and I stepped through it. And that step is one I will never regret. Now, with each passing session, our team became stronger and sharper with the wisdom of our mentors and the drive of my classmates. I feel I have been trained to wield a bright sword of knowledge, a shield of ethics, and the armor of confidence in facing and challenging people and problems. In the 3 years, I feel I have been shown a path and a purpose where I can make a difference through practical humanism in the lives and legacies of others.
My name is Chris Everett. I'm a lifelong atheist who found a like-minded community right here at the New York Society for Ethical Culture. I learned here that atheism is just a starting point for living a life of integrity and value, and that it is the positive philosophy of humanism that affirms the inherent value of the one life we know we have. Over the past 3 years of study at the Humanist Institute, I have been immersed in the literature and philosophy of humanism. But more importantly, I've done so in community with the most wonderful group of people, students and mentors, and I have forged friendships that I hope will last a lifetime.
My name is Jim Barnett. I've been a humanist for decades. Upon retirement from my career, I decided I would like to dedicate myself to strengthening the humanist movement. About that time, I became aware of the Humanist Institute. I felt that I could obtain the knowledge and skills that I needed to accomplish my objectives by attending the Institute. During my 3 years at the Humanist Institute, I have acquired knowledge about the history, philosophy, and organization of the humanist movement. Perhaps more importantly, I have met and become friends with humanists from around the country. I have used my knowledge to help establish the Bay Area Humanist in the San Francisco Bay Area.
I wish to sharpen my leadership skills and learn more about the great heritage of humanism. I felt that I needed a more robust understanding of the philosophy I was learning to live by and a clearer vision for the future. The greatest gift of these 3 years was the amazing people I took this journey with. I unpacked my creaky writing skills and started to find my voice. I started a new feminist organization centered in the secular community, and I look forward to expanding it. I expect the relationships I developed to continue to enhance my future endeavors for the rest of my life.
I'm Vanessa Gomez-Bray. 5 years ago, I was a humanist that did not know humanist communities existed. So when I heard about the Humanist Institute, I applied. I sought to connect with others, other humanists, support their endeavors, and to gain the skills to build up the community that I needed. Over the last 3 years, the Institute gave me a venue to learn the history, the theories that drive this movement, but also the practical skills to put into practice in San Francisco. Currently, I am co-president of the Bay Area Humanists with Jim Barnett. It's a dynamic group of people who regularly come together to dream big about the ways that we might be of service in our neighborhood, in our city, and in our world.
I am James Croft, and humanism is in my blood. I was raised on Shakespeare, Sagan, and Star Trek. My mind fired with visions of a humanist future, starships streaking across the galaxy. I believe humanism has the potential to change the world. I want to create a more reasonable, compassionate, and hopeful society. And so I joined the Humanist Institute to learn the skills I'll need to be a starship captain. Live long and prosper. During the Humanist Institute, I made my first visit here to the New York Society of Ethical Culture. It was then, after stepping out onto the auditorium downstairs and speaking with the leaders here, that I made the decision to apply for ethical culture leadership training. The Humanist Institute is directly responsible for the current course of my life.
As humanists, our ideals call on us to speak out and act in the name of justice. We are called to challenge economic inequality and the popular capitalist trickle-down dogma which values profits over people. We are called to support gender equality, racial equality, and reproductive justice, and to challenge the Hyde Amendment and ever-increasing restrictions on elective abortions. We are called to demand that our police forces protect all our citizens, not just the white ones, and to challenge the increasing militarization of local law enforcement. We are called to insist that the right to bear arms is not absolute, and the Second Amendment can be amended. Although some of these objectives may be politically unpopular at the moment, what I take away from my experience here is that our humanist values will not be satisfied with endless introspection and sky god debates. The time for action is now.
Economic, social, and ecological justice must take center stage. I want to stand side by side with the oppressed. I want to make humanism synonymous with peace, truth, justice, and joy, and I want you all to help me.
I see a turning point that could truly take us to our greatest golden age yet of American humanism. As I leave today, my most passionate hope is that I can, through written words, through spoken words, and the great humanist power of celebration, help others to mark and realize the joy of the most important times of our lives. As well, I hope I can teach others humanism has skills that can help create the most beautiful moments of our lives. But my hope for humanism is that it will rise from reaction and response to religion to being the great light in its own right that guides all our futures and all our lives. It will sit with happiness.
I believe that the humanism of the future has to move beyond defining itself in contrast to theistic religion, beyond establishing and re-establishing its philosophical underpinnings. I see a generation of young people coming up without religion as a reference, who are wildly enthusiastic about science and technology, who demand equality and social justice, and who come together in community to make a tangible difference in the world. These are the people I'd like to see come to mind when we hear the word humanism.
I believe it is vitally important for the humanist movement to form more and stronger local communities to meet the needs of the increasing number of secular Americans. I will continue to work to strengthen the Bay Area humanists, and if I have the opportunity, to help establish other communities in the area.
I believe that the humanism of the future needs to include a strong voice for feminism and animal rights. Reproductive rights and a solid ERA are goals that all humanists need to address. Vegetarianism is a personal choice, but as humanists, we need to be conscious of our choices and their consequences. My own contribution will start with my new organization, Feminist Free Thinkers, and my choice to be a vegetarian.
In the future, my work will continue to be guided by reason, inspired by compassion, and informed by my experiences here. I would like to help cultivate more secular leaders and to empower individuals to action through graduate level, experiential, and experimental education programs, and we will push beyond discussions of theory towards their practical applications.
As I begin my work as a leader in training at the Ethical Society of St. Louis, I'm full of hope for the future of humanism. But my hope is shadowed by fear. I fear a narrow focus on secularism and atheism. I fear institutional malaise and incompetence. I fear that traditionalism and torpor will stifle innovation and new energy. Those fears are lessened when I think of my friends and teachers in Class 18. They've helped me stay hopeful when I thought humanism wasn't worth the effort. As I spend the next year working in St. Louis, I take all I have learned from the Institute with me. If I can help build a community of love and justice, and help others do the same, I believe the future of humanism is bright, and that the United Federation of Planets is just around the corner.
Make it so!
Before we hand out these diplomas, before you leave, come get your diploma.
No, they're coming back. Hello? Okay. Are they coming back? Come back.
You want us back here?
Yeah.
Oh, you like this?
Thank you. We appreciate and respect and honor the work that you have all put into this. And your inspiring words have made everyone here feel better than they've ever felt before about what we're doing. Thank you. Let's get on the way.
All right.
I don't think that's good.
Somebody that organizes things help.
Oh, that. Did Steve Office bring dessert?
No. He didn't work hard enough.
Thank you very much.
What's up? Thanks.
I'm ready for my close-up.
No ego involved there.
we ought to give a hand to John and Ann, who did such a great job as mentors.
And for our mentors, in their infinite wisdom, we would like to bestow upon you a gift. To the ever-wise man, Yoda, and for those of you who've read the book, Anne, you're the best believer there ever was. Ishmael.
And finally, we have to give a hand of appreciation to our co-deans who have worked so hard to help all of this come together. Carol and Ann, thank you.
I'm a representative of class 19.
We need someone, wait, we warned you. We warned you. Who wants to take the torch from class 19? It's Samantha. Go,
Jeez,
First, we have a torch.
it looks spiky as hell. Half the annual operating budget. Everybody else is running rest of the culture. Better not lose this one, Steve.
You are.
Oh, good.
As matriarch.
Basically, the passing of the torch was something that started with the first class. And there was a wonderful person from ethical culture who was a professor at Columbia University. And he was sitting in the audience and he was beaming while we were graduating. And he said, I think I found the torch that's passing from my generation to your generation. We all went, torch, passing the torch. And that became the symbol of what we're doing from one class to the next class. Keep the movement going, keep it going on, keep it expanding. So that's what's behind that.
We're going to let Ann work on the torch for just a minute. I think I speak on behalf of Ann when I say that the trust and responsibility handed to mentors is immense, and we felt it most personally. We took it most seriously. But then to be mentors for this group was, well, words fail me. But let's say
It's a learning experience.
that with every passing year, we just felt more grateful that this was our class. And let me say how grateful I am to have been with such talented people, and I'm truly honored to be able to pass on a bit of my own light of humanism. Keep in mind that 30 years ago, in 1984, Paul Kurtz, Sherwin Wine, and representatives from the entire spectrum of humanism, secularism, and non-belief came together to found this Humanist Institute because they knew that the generations ahead would need exactly people like you. So you should be very, very proud of yourselves.
And I'm going to keep it very brief. All I want to say is thank you, because going through this, you go through the Institute once, you feel like you've learned it. Going through it again as a mentor, you have mentored me in ways you will never be able to appreciate. And I cannot thank you enough.
symbolic. Okay. It is as real as the presence of our God committee. Here we go. I'm going to pass it.